I created this theme to avoid copyright. I created this theme to avoid copyright. I created this theme to avoid copyright. Welcome to Grandpa's World.
All right.
That's right.
How's everybody doing? I'm Grandpa the Nerd.
And I'm
Next,
Big Murr.
yeah, Michael J is not here this week because he moved, and where he's living now, they all got COVID, and he's dodging the COVID bug. So he said, not going to be on. He's got to wear his mask and all that stuff. So he said,
Try to avoid it all. And I got to
yeah,
apologize. I don't have a tripod yet. And due to some health issues, I have to appear like this. So you guys got to bear with me on my thumb head.
yep,
So just try to accept it for what it is.
pure, pure amateur, amateur hour right now. So.
Right, man. I am the king of amateur.
But we never claimed to be professional. You could tell
Trying to
by the
get this
theme.
lined up.
You could
So
tell by the
yeah,
theme.
it'll be skipping around quite a bit tonight. So, and then I might have to get up mid show and go to the little boys' room and stuff like that. But I'll try to keep everything at a bare minimum.
And if he does go to the bathroom, he won't take his phone and give us a show. He won't do that.
Oh, I might let you hear it if anything. So
Get the old Married with Children flush in the background.
right, I'll mute the microphone so it'll be all right. But
There
I
you go.
highly doubt it. I have to take those stupid water pills, so makes me go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. But I think I should be okay. I think I'm past the rough spot, so I don't think I'll have to do it. But you never know, man.
Well, if you have to take a break, that's what I have. I have this. I can throw that up and you can go about your business. No biggie. No
Right.
biggie.
Or play some. Well, we don't want to get copyright, so
Yeah.
you can't bust out any videos or anything anymore. Damn YouTube.
I can always put that up while we're gone.
Yeah, man.
Vanna White.
There's something about that picture, man. I think it's because we grew up with Vanna White, and just even seeing a little glimpse of her buttocks
Yeah.
is is a very special thing for us Gen Xers, man.
And I'm
See,
grateful. And and I'm great. I'm gonna say this right now. We'll talk more about this later, but I'm glad to see not a lot of my favorite Gen X stuff growing up. A lot of the people like Vanna White and stuff like that, they're not showing up in this on these lists. You know?
yeah, I noticed that too. Like, well, you got Tom Hanks. We grew up with Tom, and that's kind of a rough one to swallow. But yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone on the lists they've been kind of creepers that we didn't really like in the
That's right.
first place.
I haven't
You know,
seen no no Betty White, no
yeah, no Betty White, no
no
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
no B Arthur,
no
no
B
B Arthur,
Arthur, yeah, no,
No Tom Selleck,
right. A lot of the bands we liked weren't on the list, so that's
right?
good.
No Tom Bosley, good old Father Dowling. He's
Yeah,
not on.
he's good. He wouldn't be on there. Can you imagine, man? That would be a gut punch if old Tom Bosley was on there.
Right. So I
Yeah,
mean, for the most part, if you really look at it, it's mainly really big wigs of in the political sphere. Like, yeah, Tom Hanks is in there, but he's a huge contributor to the Democratic Party. So you know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like, but I don't, nobody. Most of the people that I loved the most as a kid, they're not showing up in this list. So
Yeah,
I'm
they're not even associated with it. And like I said, a lot of people that you knew they were douchebags already, like Bill Gates and Richard Branson and all that. Hopefully they don't send people after me, but
Oh, yeah,
You,
I still have this, by the way, in case, just in case it gets too deep tonight. I still have so
what does it say?
remember, Murr is not suicidal.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, that's got to keep that out just in case they come for me, man. Now there, man, there's so much crazy stuff in the Epstein files. Like literally, there's stuff in there that you could spend a whole day or a week discussing what each thing is, and everybody's so obsessed with finding Trump in there. They're missing all the other terrible things. Like, man, they're talking about having cloning factories and baby farms and eating babies and just crazy stuff, man.
That's what I'm
You know,
saying. They need to quit worrying about. They need to quit trying to find certain people in them and just go after the people that they do find in them.
right? That it's like clear cut evidence that there was, like this Bill Gates thing. It says plain as day in there that him and Epstein were running, pandemic protocols and they were, running pandemic scenarios and all this stuff. And, not more than a year later, we get COVID and his goofy face pops up everywhere. And
And here's the big picture that I think about when this all while all this is going on. It's not about who you want to be in the list. It's about once they start arresting these people, they'll start throwing people under the bus to protect themselves. And they'll start throwing people under the bus who aren't in those lists but are involved in this kind of stuff. So if you think somebody should be in there that's not, doesn't mean they're not innocent. They could be found out later when someone tries to save their own ass.
yeah, they could be in a totally different faction, but the same kind of cult. It
Because
seems like it's just all a cult at this point.
I
Like,
find it
how?
hard. I find it. I'm with you. I find it hard to believe for 1 second that Epstein and his goons are the only people on the planet doing sex trafficking. I don't believe it.
Right.
Because
Yeah, I think, he was connected with Diddy and there's all the low level poor creeps that are doing this kind of stuff. And it's just showing that this world is just a nasty place.
it is.
There's just so much of this crap going on. And my thing is it seems like nobody cares. Everybody's so distracted by,
The
you
the
know,
the
the
people
ice.
who the people who do care, um, the people who do care are in the vocal minority. The
Right.
people like me and you and a lot of millions of other people. We do care, but no one's listening to us
Yeah, no, and
because
nobody's but us. The people that already knew this kind of stuff was going on, and now it's all proving to be true, like Pizzagate and all that. I mean, the Epstein files blew the lid off the whole Pizzagate scandal. But like I said, there's so many people that are just focused on Trump. Like Trump, Trump, Trump. They're not seeing everything else and how bad it is. I mean, they said Joe Biden was a fucking actor, for Christ's sake. We all kind of figured that too, man. I mean, the dude's eyes were different, his ears were different. He wasn't the same dude. I don't like when he got elected. It didn't seem like that was even the same guy, that it was. And nobody's saying the news ain't covering it. The
see,
lefties aren't covering it.
yeah, I don't have enough experience to speak on the Joe Biden thing because when he was, I never paid attention to the dude when he was just
Right.
a senator, and when he was the vice president, he wasn't the focus. So I don't really
Yeah, I mean,
know.
nobody really saw him when he was vice president. He was just kind of there, but
and I didn't pay attention to his presidency because between, what I honestly believe, halfway through his presidency, he should have been taken out. Not like taken out like violently. There was something medically wrong with him and he should have been removed, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, like for sure that he was incompetent to do the job, and that's pretty evident that he was incompetent.
I mean,
But
I ain't gonna lie. It broke. It would make me sad when I'd see him because he looked so lost. It's like
yeah,
looking at him on TV, he'd be so lost. I'd be like, why are they doing this to this poor guy? Get him out
well,
of
it
there.
just makes you wonder that if it was some other guy, like, was it a guy with dementia, or was he like, was it purposely an act? Like there's so many layers to this stuff.
And whether it was Biden with a dementia or an actor being weird, this at the end of the day, who was in charge of shit? You know what I mean? Who was
Yeah, it's
really
like I almost think, if it was an actor, they purposely propped him up and made him look incompetent, so we would accept anything at that point. Like if we accepted that, like a guy in that bad of a mental decline, we're going to take anything they shove at us. I
but
mean,
I
I
don't
I still think 2020 the election was stolen, or there was some real fishy stuff going on with that, and just I don't even know what to believe anymore. There's a bunch of stuff coming out about that too. The election, they're saying that the stuff in Georgia was absolutely true. That there was fraudulent votes and stuff coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was all for Biden. I don't know what to believe anymore. Everything's fake now.
but we'll never know because even like with Trump, they keep swearing up and down there's all this corruption in Minnesota, but yet no one's been arrested yet.
Yeah,
So
nobody's been arrested for nothing, and that's the problem. Like Alex Jones has, and 90% of us Republicans, we're like, what's the point? All this stuff is getting exposed, but just like 2020, nobody's getting arrested. The DOJ isn't going after anybody. We all thought in 2020 that Trump was going to win and like take down the entire deep state, and like go after all these people and put them in jail. And now he's back in office. And I hate to use the term because it's everybody's throwing it around, the old pedo protector thing going on. But it does almost seem like he's protecting these people. Like, why is this shit? Do they got something on him? Just why are people not getting arrested? Are they worried about optics that if we start arresting people, they're going to start screaming that we're fascists and we're going after our political opponents? And
well,
I just want to see.
you got to remember though, Americans aren't the only ones in those Epstein files.
Right? Oh yeah,
There's
there's
other countries in play. If some
yeah, we're
powerful leader,
talking Israel, Finland, Denmark,
that's
Germany,
right.
Europe, or I
I'm
mean
not
not Europe, England.
right. I'm not trying to defend Trump at all. But even if he wanted to go after some of these people, there could be people, on that higher power tier that are like, this could go even worse. And so maybe he won't go after anybody because of the
Yeah,
other countries involved.
it could disrupt the entire power structure of the entire world, and it could go into chaos. Because what do you think really would happen if people found out? Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think would happen if people found out that 90% of the world's leaders are pedophile child blood drinkers? Like the whole world would go into chaos.
Yeah, but
It's
but to be honest, the way I've seen things lately, as a Second Amendment supporter, I don't think anything will ever come of anything while Trump's still president, because there's too many
No, I don't
people.
think so either.
There's too many people that support him so much that he can't do any wrong. Like
Right.
if Biden had ever said those words, well, you shouldn't take a weapon to a protest, the right would have lost their shit. But because Trump said it, they're, oh well, he's right. You shouldn't. I mean, there's pictures of guys standing on state house steps with their Trump Pence signs and their ARs across their chest with their signs saying "end lockdowns." But now all of a sudden, these same fucking jackasses are like, "No, he's right. You shouldn't take a gun to a protest." And that's what I'm
Yeah, I thought
saying.
that was pretty weird, man. I thought that was though. I think what what Freddie was doing was pretty reprehensible. Or yeah, that's hopefully that's the word I'm looking for. Like, he was on that Signal app, and they were stalking federal agents, and I can't help but wonder if the agents that had a run in with him like knew who he was. And that gun he had has a very bad tendency. I think it's called a SUGS.
A
It's,
Sig Sauer, a Sig Sauer.
yeah, I think it has a nasty reputation of going off on its own.
See,
So
here's my thing. This is why I have a hard time keeping friends on both sides, because I just call it like I see it and I don't play politics. Like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
like that woman who got shot in the van. I felt she fucked around and got killed. I don't.
yeah, yeah,
But the guy, that guy, no matter how anti-ice he was, the situation where he was killed, he didn't have his gun on him when they unloaded. They had
yeah. See,
already.
the only thing I could say to really justify that situation was there was 6 guys on him. Somebody took his gun out. The other officers didn't see it, and the weapon automatically discharged on its own.
And they
So,
right.
yeah, in the confusion and everything, not to totally defend those guys, but they're out there and they got mobs of people like yelling Nazi and calling them fuck faces and throwing snowballs at them, and it just harassing them. I can't help but think that those guys are a bit on edge at this point.
It's just
Like,
I come from a different time. I come from a time when people who really supported the 2A world
right?
didn't like Democrats or Republicans, because the Democrats wanted to take your guns and the Republicans weren't doing enough to protect your rights. And now it seems everybody in the 2A world is soft and just they stay whatever the Republicans tell them to do is what they do. Like no one stands up anymore. They used to be called, I don't know if you remember it. You probably do because you're my age. But back in
Right.
the 80s and 90s, they were referred to as the militia in the
Yeah,
news
it was
whenever they
always the
would.
militia.
Yeah, they would. What happened to those guys? The ones that stood up for what was right and what was wrong and didn't,
Right.
like look. I am very much okay. I'm gonna say this now. This is another reason why people on both sides can't stand me. I do not agree with the heavy-handed tactics that ICE is taking. On the other hand, if you're not supposed to be here, you need to go to fuck home.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Because
there's got to be, and if we don't set a precedent, I agree with you that they're getting a little bit crazy with the way they're going about doing everything. But if we don't have a precedent that we have to enforce immigration laws and border control, we could have a situation like England on our hands, or France,
right,
where it's been totally overrun by illegal and legal refugees and immigrants, and those it's destroyed those countries.
like people like me and you. If me and you jumped on a plane and went to spend 2 weeks in Japan on vacation, that's cool. But if in 6 months we're still there, they're going to send us
Right.
home. They're going to be like, you can't. No, you got to go. This is you're not.
Yeah, you can't just come in here, and especially if you're getting like free benefits and everything,
Right.
just
I'm not opposed to people coming here.
yeah,
I'm
me
not
either. I think
opposed to it at
I
all.
think we got enough space. It's just it needs to be done in the proper channels, and they can't be given like carte blanche. I've been hearing all these stories about how, these hotels that they turn into immigrant sanctuaries, like they're given everything free food, free Wi-Fi, free transportation, free room and board. It's just kind of ridiculous. Like, where is that money coming from? Like look at New York. They got a 12 billion deficit, mainly because of all their programs with the immigrants coming in. And
Right.
I don't want to sound racist either, but we have to enforce those laws. There's got to be a better way to do it, I guess.
Right. Just like everybody said, and it's true. Obama deported more people than Trump has, and he did. He just didn't round them up with ICE and do it all. Just going into businesses and arresting every. That's what I'm saying. I don't like the tactics they're taking, but if you're not supposed to be here, you got to go. I mean,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
people like
when your time is up, your time is up. That's
and
it.
th- and this is the other thing that really pisses me off. Being a part of the 2A community, every time, every fucking time the Second Amendment's brought up, these fucking people. Well, our forefathers didn't mean for there to be uh our forefathers didn't mean for there to be for that to cover automatic weapons because they didn't have them back then. Okay, I get it, but times change. But now these same people are like, well, my ancestors came here on Ellis Island and they didn't get sent home and rounded up. It was because there wasn't any immigration laws like they are today back
Right,
then.
right.
It was easier to come
And
over
then
here.
there was a clearer path to citizenship at that
Right.
point. And yes, we definitely need immigrants to help the economy and to help the job market and the whole bit. There's no doubt they're needed, but we all know that during the Biden administration, they were sending some scurvy motherfuckers over here. Like
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
remember seeing news reports daily, like platoons of fighting age men. There was no women or children. It was all fighting age men coming into the country, and it was kind of like, well, that's not good. And in a lot of ways, I think Trump is just trying to combat that. Like maybe they had a plan. It's hard to say, man. There's,
We
you know,
we
it's
have we have entered a time in society that probably is for the worst and going
yeah,
forward. No matter who's in office now, going forward, no matter who, if our next president is a Democrat and starts doing good things, nobody on the right are going to agree with him, and everybody on the left will. And then once we get another Republican president, the script will flip and it'll be just like it is now. This is
yeah.
what
It's that we're.
it
I think we're past the point of civility.
right,
It's crazy. Part of me thinks they kind of want shit to go so sideways and either have a civil war or come close to it, and then tell us our only way to combat this is to have an AI system of governance. A non-biased computer program, which we all know is not true because humans program it. But like I think the whole AI thing has come into play with a lot of this. Like they're going to collapse the money system and they're going to recommend the full digital currency, which everything is tracked and they can shut off at any point and
right. And
everybody's controlled. And then AI makes all the decisions. But the people that own the AI, the elites, are going to control pretty much everything. It's
And just like tomorrow, the Trump administration could announce a cure for cancer. And the first thing everybody on the internet and on all some of the mainstream media sites are going to do is say, has anybody checked to see if he has stock in that company? Because they won't want to give him
yeah,
any kind of, they won't want to give him any credit at all. I
yeah,
mean, I don't,
nothing.
I don't want to give him credit because I don't like him, but you got to give credit when credit is due. But
Right,
he,
right.
no one will give him any credit for anything, and that's the way it's going to be going forward. The next Democratic president's not going to get any fucking credit from anybody unless they're on the left. It's totally this world is this. I don't know about the world's fucked regardless, but this country's fucked now. This country is
Yeah,
totally
it's
fucked.
totally. And do you blame Trump for that, or do you blame the Democrats who fight him for it? Like what? It's just it's
Politics
been
hasn't
fucked. It's been fucked since 2020. Like
politics. I don't think
it's
politics have changed. I think it's the people. I think it's the people.
I do too, and it's the way stuff is delivered now. Like I think a lot of it has to do with they could pretty well control the masses with just mainstream media back then. It just the news and network broadcasting and subliminal messages and all that. Now that there's so many news outlets and everybody's an independent journalist, I think a lot of the politicians and political systems have been exposed for for being mind control and crowd control and everything. And I think in a lot of the ways they're losing their control. So they're trying desperately to do whatever they can to like get things in motion. Because I swear to God, every fucking week, it seems like it's a new script. You know what I mean? And I say that a lot online that it just seems like every week there's something new and it's supposed to get us riled up to the point of where we freak out. Nobody does. And they immediately go on to the next thing. This week it's the Minnesota riots. Week before it was no kings. The week before it was, and then on the right, it's the same thing. It's the Somali fraud or whatever it may be coming from the right. But it
Right.
just seems like they're just rapid fire. Shit's happening so fast, nobody can keep up.
It's because everybody's too busy fighting.
Right.
Like I have seen
And
so many people fighting over Bad Bunny being the NFL.
oh yeah, and who cares? It's going to be forgotten afterwards.
The only I've watched two Super Bowl halftime shows in my entire life, I think. Two. One was the Rolling Stones and
Right.
the other was Prince. Those are the
And that
only two
Prince
half
one, man, that's how it's done. The Prince one was awesome, man.
right.
You,
Of
you know,
course,
it was the same. People forget it was the same shit last year with Kendrick Lamar. There was a big controversy, and Meg is gonna hate it because they're black, and Trump's gonna hate it because he's anti-Trump, and it's all marketing to get views. Like him winning the 400 Grammys or whatever. It was all a publicity stunt because everybody knows the Grammys are fake as shit anyway.
yeah, I usually during halftime I go do something else. Go in the kitchen. I spend my time in the bathroom and in the kitchen getting ready for the next half. I don't watch the show. I don't watch the halftime show. Like I said, the only reason I watch the Prince one is because I'm a Gen Xer who thinks Prince is a god tier performer, so I had to fucking watch it. But you know,
I usually catch it because I don't know if you remember, this was another conspiracy theory, but for a while, a lot of the conspiracy theorists were saying that the halftime shows were full of this super satanic imagery underneath and, was pushing this satanic agenda. So for many years, I tuned in to see if it's like, all right, is it going to be the satanic shit show again, or is it just going to be a shit show? Just it's hard to say, but
see,
then oh man, there's been some bad ones like the Maroon 5. That was Jesus Christ, and I like Maroon 5. I
see,
just thought that was shitty.
everybody's going on about all these world problems, and they're going on about you know You know what? You want to know a real world problem? You want to know something that really concerns the fuck out of me and has me on edge? Is the fact that yesterday Skid Row announced they're looking for a new singer, and I know one that they could use that would put a
Yeah,
billion dollars
I
in their
know a good
pocket.
one. I know a good one too, but they seem to be such assholes about it. You
Yeah,
know, like I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, okay, you can be a second-rate county fair band, or you can play some goddamn stadiums.
yeah,
Put
and
your
it,
differences aside. Get a separate tour bus. You don't got to talk to the motherfucker till he gets on stage. Do the goddamn shows. Get it over with.
right, just like
Give us
old,
what we want.
just like. Well, I probably couldn't afford to go to the show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I probably couldn't. I'm too handicapped at this point
But
and too broke.
they would probably make $1 billion if Skid Row, the original
Right.
lineup,
But I
just like,
guarantee you, I would watch every fucking video on YouTube. I'd watch all the shows, man. Skid Row was our band.
yep,
You know, in the hair metal days, they came out of nowhere, took over the scene. The chicks loved them. The dudes loved them. I'm
yep.
telling you, man, you ain't never seen no finer trim than at a fucking Skid Row show in the late 80s. Telling you, man, it was trim central out there, dude.
Just
Straight up Poon Farm out there. Poon's Farm wine is what I call it.
just like this is another concert I'd like to see happen, knowing damn well I can't afford it if it did. But I kind of like where Dave's going. His
With
last
the
tour,
Megadeth, yeah, dude, I'm kind of
if Megadeth and Metallica toured, I think they would make billions. And I also think to solve. I told my wife, I said, "Honey, hear me out. They would have they would have a problem with who would be the highlight of the night. I say they alternate. One night Megadeth goes on last, the next night Metallica goes on last. If they
yeah,
alternate
just
it,
like they did with Clash of the Titans back in the day,
yep,
where Clash of the Titans they had a different headliner at each show, so nobody got the ego problem. You
right,
know what I would like to see? I would like to see a Metallica Megadeth collaboration album. Like they
yep.
get together and they do one last album. But you know, Kurt's in the picture now, Cliff's in the picture now, and I guarantee you, like Lars cannot play the shit that Dave pumps out anymore. It's have you heard the new Megadeth?
I thought it was good.
I
Now,
loved it, man. I
to be brutally honest though, as much as I like Dave's version of Ride the Lightning, because I'm 55 years old or 54 years old and I've been listening to the Metallica version for so long,
right.
I still prefer Metallica's version.
Well, yeah, the way I look at that is I love the music. I thought the music was on point, and I loved how crisp it was and how good Dave did it. But his voice, my problem is James recorded that when he was like 20 years old. You know what
Right.
I mean? And you can hear the youth in James's voice. Now, Dave recorded his version when he's like, what, 65, 70 now?
Yeah.
And you can really hear the age in Dave's voice when he sings that song. Like, you know, I thought his voice was great and just fine in all the other songs. And I really fucking love the album.
He
But
did a
the
good
ride,
job. He did a good job. I prefer the original just out of nostalgia, not out of
well,
any
yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad tune, but to me, it showed his age. And it made me want to listen to the original, but I appreciated it for what it was. And
See,
dude, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Now that you've joined the vinyl club with us, that album, the new Megadeth, probably has to be the best produced and mastered sounding album I've heard on vinyl in the modern day. You know, I mean, because I love the old 70s presses and OG 80s presses. You know, 90s presses kind of suck. because there wasn't a lot of demand. So the pressing companies weren't good anymore. They were just niche kind of.
Right.
But the new Megadeth sounds so good. It's mastered loud. It sounds clear. The way they got the drums to sound on this album was fucking fantastic, man. But I don't know if I
Yeah,
want to pay 20. I don't know if I want to pay $40 for it, G Paul.
you got to wait till it goes. It might go. It might get cheaper. It might get cheaper.
Yeah,
I
that
would,
I'm gonna ride the storm out. I'm gonna ride the lightning and see if it comes down in price. Because I cannot justify a $40 album purchase.
no, I get it.
Yeah, just from being a lifelong fan. I mean, not even like, oh geez. I did spend $40. I did spend $40 on GNR Lies. I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the most expensive album I have that I bought. I got some stuff here that's worth like $200-300, but I spent $40 on GNR Lies, and I got 12 Foot Ninja's first album. Get this, dude. Limited press, straight from the band itself. Only, I believe it's either 500 or 1,000 copies. I believe I have copy number 3.
Oof,
You know
nice.
what I'm saying? Like 3 or 4. I was on that shit the minute they took pre-orders. I bought it like instantly, and it's coming in the mail probably tomorrow. It's probably going to be in my hands tomorrow.
You want
So
to know
I'm
what does? You know what bugs the hell out of me? I found out today for Record Store Day, the
yeah,
Misfits are re-releasing a fucking Famous Monsters. Of all the Misfits albums you could re-release, you pick one with Corey.
yeah. I was going to say that's Graves, ain't it? That's
Yeah, or not Corey, but yeah, I can't remember his first name.
yeah, Michael
Great,
Graves. Yeah,
Michael Graves. It's like, why didn't they get together with Glenn and release one of the old ones? You
yeah.
know,
Like Walk Among Us. Walk Among Us is so damn expensive to get. The only way I can get it is fucking unofficial bootlegs, and they want $40 for those. Now, Record
yeah.
Store Day, they are re-releasing uh, Danzig 1 and Danzig 2, but I haven't seen it on the official roster for any Record Store Days yet.
And
I've
good
seen
luck
the
finding.
advertisements for it, but I haven't seen it listed on any Record Store Days, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what the deal is.
And good luck finding a record store around here.
Well, we got Robot Fighter. Robot Fighter is right around. Do you know where that's at?
No,
All right. Do you know where the Army Navy store is?
is that the one on Parker and?
Yeah. Yep. You got it. That's right across the street from the park there.
Yeah.
Now, the Army Navy store, in the back of the Army Navy store, is an old time record store called Robot Fighter Records.
Is it inside? You have to go in the Navy store to.
Yes. Yeah. You go
Okay.
into the back, and it's been so successful that the record store is gradually taking over the Army Navy store.
Oh,
Like
okay.
every time I go in there, there's more and more of the record store, and I've gotten some good stuff there. I got Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band there, an Ambrosia record, Judas Priest record. But
Okay.
see, I'm online with distributors now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I got hooked up with a distributor, so I get my shit super cheap. But he won't sell me the new Megadeth, the motherfucker, because he knows. He knows. He's used to selling shit super cheap to his buddies, to everybody. Like $30 releases, he'll sell it to you for 20.
Oh, okay.
And but I kept bugging him about Megadeth, and he's like, "Man, I'm not gonna do it." The copies I got are for in-store use, and I'm not doing them online. I'm like, yeah, because you know that we want you to lose $10 on every copy. But yeah, but still, at least we got one in town. And the thing about Record Store Day releases is online vendors are not allowed to auction off Record Store Day stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that the people that do the presses, they say it's designed for people to go into record stores and brick and mortar stores. So you can do a price point like 2 days after Record Store Day, you can sell the records, but it has to be at a set price.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they don't want people, they don't want record stores buying up 10 copies of like a rare Black Sabbath, not selling them in the stores, and then turn around and auctioning them off at like $200 a piece 4 or 5 days later. It's kind of a cool law to keep everything cool, but
We're getting a new Black Sabbath box set. They're going to be all of Dio's years and all of the Dio stuff.
oh, I wonder if they're going to have Heaven and Hell, or not Heaven and Hell. Yeah, if they're going to have the Heaven and Hell record, which is the one that they did. They did after Dehumanizer, and there was a problem with the rights because Ozzy had already come back, and I believe Sharon was involved, and they couldn't do another record with Dio under the Black Sabbath name, so they had to call it Heaven and Hell. Which now that album, Heaven and Hell,
Oh.
is super fucking expensive. And I have no idea why, dude. It's who's that? What's that going on? Yeah, it's called The Devil You Know, I
Yeah.
believe.
Break. Yeah, this is called Breakout of Heaven 2007 through 2009. It comes out March 27th. It reunites the so Heaven and Hell ended following Dio's death in 2010. So this is some kind of box set, or there's something they're doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
new Heaven and Hell box set.
I wonder if it's the re-release, like it's gonna be a deluxe version of the Heaven and Hell record and some live stuff.
Yeah,
Because I believe
includes
they did tour. They did tour that album. So
says includes the Lone Heaven and Hell studio album,
okay.
2009's The Devil You Know, as well as two live albums recorded in '07 at New York City's Radio Music Hall and the Wacken Festival in Germany from 2009.
Okay, well, I'm down with that.
It's
But it's gonna be expensive. I know it.
yeah, Heaven and Hell reunited the Sabbath lineup of Tommy, Geezer, Dio, and Vinny prior to Heaven and Hell, that from '81 and '92. So yeah, so it probably is going to be expensive. Hopefully not too expensive, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, they're finally, you know, I wonder how they're getting able. I wonder how they're being able to release it. I wonder if whatever their deal was that they had with whatever Sharon did to block it. I wonder if she's like, don't give a fuck now.
Like eased up on it or something. Well, I think because it's under the Heaven and Hell name, Sharon can't do anything of it. But I believe there was some bad blood between Dio and Tony Iommi and Geezer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I heard, I hate saying it because God knows I love the guy, but I've heard in numerous places that Dio was not the easiest guy to work with. That he was kind of difficult, but then I've heard the same about Tony Iommi too, so
Okay,
I don't.
here you go. The Breaking Out of Heaven 2007 through 2009. It's 4 CDs and
Okay.
one Blu-ray disc, and it's
Right.
$69.98.
God, what about vinyl though?
If if you get the vinyl, it's 7 LPs
Oh
for
Jesus.
for $199.98.
$199.98 for one album. I mean,
7
yeah,
LPs.
it's got 7 albums. But well, the live stuff probably has Dehumanizer on it. It's probably got stuff from Mob Rules, so that might really be interesting because I don't think we're going to be able to hear those records any other way. But I
Right.
cannot justify $199 on anything like that, dude. That's damn near a month worth of groceries, man. Well, not in this day and age, but
But
you
I know
know
what
what
you're
I
saying. It's $200. You could buy if you had $200 to spend, would you buy one box set of 2 albums and 2 live albums and other stuff, or would you just buy like 5 or 6 separate bands? So I see what you're
right.
saying. When I look at it, I see for what you're saying. It's expensive. I mean, I wouldn't even spend the $60. I'll just stream it because
Right, I'll stream it too. I mean, that's what's probably going to happen because I'm not that much of a super fan to own it. But I will say this: I have never once seen Heaven and Hell on vinyl for less than 100, and I have wanted to jump on it every time I see it because I fucking love Dehumanizer.
yeah,
Dehumanizer is one of my favorite Sabbath albums that has ever come out. So I never got to own Heaven and Hell when it came out. And have always been curious about it. I never downloaded it or anything. Sorry about my thumb head here, guys.
that's right.
Thumb head. I'm
But yeah,
getting up.
that's
I gotta probably
yeah,
gotta go to the bathroom here.
but yeah, Dehumanizer is a good one.
Yeah, I remember when that came out and it absolutely blew me away. I
You
mean,
see, I'm one of those guys that people like to get mad at though, because I love Black Sabbath and I love
right?
Ozzy, and I have all of Ozzy's albums. That's how much I love them. But I think Black Sabbath sounded better when they had Dio.
Yeah, and that's a real tough call to make. And I'm going to have to probably agree with you
They were
because
heavier.
the Sabbath albums were iconic. I mean, those were incredibly good songs, and they paved the way for everything that came after. But the Dio stuff is just precise. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's more mature and it's just grown up. So, hey, Grandpa, go on a little rant or something. Um, Put on a video. I will be right back.
All right. We'll
Yeah,
do.
I got. Oh shit.
Yep. Ah, he has to go visit the little boy's room, so we'll let him have his piece. Plus, we don't want to hear or have anything to do with that. That's his thing. So, but I'm glad he was able. Well, he's coming back. We'll probably wrap it up in like 35, 40 minutes. At least he's comfortable in his chair. But we could always look at uh, Vanna White's butt. I mean, it's like one of the greatest butts of all time. What Gen Xer didn't love Vanna's butt? Even the female Gen Xers loved Vanna's butt. You know they did. You know they did. So, hey, something to look at while Murr takes a break is Vanna White's ass. I mean, what looks better, that or this? You'd be a fool to answer this. But no, yeah. This was, man, I had this poster on my wall. I don't remember how I got it though, because I don't think they made a poster of it. Somebody, I don't know, somebody I knew was able to do it. I don't remember. I mean, I have this Playboy issue because I do believe, if I recall correctly, that is from the Playboy issue. So I do have that Playboy in there somewhere. But yeah, I do believe it was Playboy because that was the only one. She wouldn't have been in Penthouse. That was two. Again, Penthouse was the if Playboy was rated R and Hustler was rated X, I'd have to say Penthouse was the NC-17 of adult magazines. You didn't get to see it all, but you saw a little bit. Hustler, on the other hand, we all know about Larry Flint. Which, if you don't know about Larry Flint, there's a really good movie called The People versus Larry Flint, and that stars Harry, ugh, Harold, no, shit, Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson played him, and I do believe old Frances Bean's mom played the girlfriend. Just can't remember her name at the top of my head right now. But yeah, you should check out The People versus Larry Flint. Great, great movie. I always liked Larry Flint though. You know, so he put naked people in magazines. It's like I don't know. He didn't force people to do it. So, oh, he's back. Boom.
Yeah, I totally hit the wrong button there, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna lower you down here and mute you, but you completely split. So I said, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to mute my mic and ended up hitting some other weird bullshit, like, but I'm back now, so it's all good.
So, how do you feel? Now, I think the Grammys are shit anyway, but
Oh God, yeah, dude,
how
it
did you
sucked.
feel about Turnstile winning a Grammy?
Well, all right, that's kind of a weird one because my first instinct was like, okay, these clowns, this isn't metal, this isn't hard rock, screw this. But then I realized I don't really know anything about the band. So I streamed the song that won the Grammy, that the Birds song, and I was pleasantly surprised. To me, it kind of had like a generic Jane's Addiction feel to it for some reason. That's all I could think of when I heard it was that they were kids that were probably uh influenced by stuff like Jane's Addiction.
See, that's why I didn't like it. I can close my eyes and listen to old Bonham and be like, oh, they sound a little bit like Led Zeppelin, but I can
Yeah, like
tell.
they're trying to be Led Zeppelin.
but
Yeah.
but I can tell it's not Led Zeppelin. Greta Van Fleet, I can hear them and like, oh, they sound like Led Zeppelin, but I know it's not Led Zeppelin. If you put on that Birds and you don't even know what it is and you close your eyes, me and my wife agreed. It sounded like Jane's Addiction straight up. You If you do not know that is Turnstile, you may be like, oh, Jane's Addiction's got a new album. I'm not
Yeah,
over
that's
like
what
it's too
that's what
it's
threw me for a loop. I was like, man, this is really very Jane's Addiction-esque. Like, you're absolutely right. Jane's could have put that song out and it would have been their song.
I understand bands are going to be influenced by bands before them, and I don't have a problem with that. And when you like to make your sound like theirs, I still don't have a problem with that. But if you're going to just sound now, in fairness, though, we listened to a whole bunch of different Turnstile songs that day. I didn't like
Right?
Birds because it was too Jane's Addiction.
Cookie. Yeah, it was too cookie cutter. Yeah.
There was another one that was sounded really good. It was a punk one, but it started off really weird, so it was good. But my whole thing is they have an identity crisis. They don't know if they're a punk band, if they're a rock band. And on the other hand, as good as Birds isn't a bad song, but I think the songs they were up against, Ghost and Dream Theater, were better.
Yeah, and Ghost and Dream Theater, they're both heavy hitters. Even though, I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I am not I'm not a Dream Theater fan. I
What?
re- I respect Dream Theater and their last album I borrowed it from my friend Bert and it was a pretty fantastic album, so I can't really talk shit but the singer, I cannot stand the singer of Dream Theater. Like it's a visceral reaction for me. It
He's,
gets under my skin and makes me want to hurt things. I don't know
I,
why.
I don't see how see that's the weird thing. We that just goes to show we must hear things differently. Because when I hear the singer, like when I hear "Hold Me Under," I
Well,
kind of
Hold Me Under is a different story.
I kind of hear some songs, some Dream Theater songs sound like he's. I think he's a very similar singer to Jeff Tate.
Yes, I can see that. I can see where people would make that comparison. But to me, I think Jeff Tate is much better. And I love Pull Me Under, so I am a Dream Theater fan in that regard. But I just remember buying that album because of Pull Me Under, and I just couldn't stand the rest of it. Like I couldn't get through it more than a couple times listening to it. And I've just never been able to embrace that band, even though the last album they did was pretty fantastic. And I even told Bird, I'm like, man, I like the singer on this. And Ghost, it depends on what album they had up, but if it was like a Metria or like
It was
that's
it was the new album. It was
yeah,
the new single. I played it for the wife. The wife goes, "How did this lose to?"
yeah, that's one of the coolest rock songs that I've heard in years. The album as a whole, I got a bunch of Ghost albums over here, and I think that the album as a whole is kind of weak, but that particular single is definitely the highlight of the album. And because, that with Birds, the song was good, but as I said, it was generic Jane's Addiction. It
Right,
sounded cool in the frame of Jane's Addiction. It just wasn't, it didn't really grab me or move me or anything.
because
Uh, you know, it
I
ain't
don't
no
like
12-foot ninja, I'll put it that way.
right. I don't like hating on the new music because I don't really listen to it. It's not for me, so I don't want to
Right.
hate on those performers. But I will say this about them: the music today will be forgotten tomorrow. Where
Yeah, yeah,
the music from our time and the time before us is still being remembered today.
right. Yeah.
That's
Just look at, the new albums today, they're in the clearance bin for $10 within 90 days. But the stuff from our generation is selling for $100 a copy of some stuff.
yep.
Like you look at stuff that we grew up with, like LA Guns and Faster Pussycat and Cinderella. Copies of those albums are still selling, and OG copies are through the roof.
Right.
And people are
And that's
because you
why
identify.
I say what I say. I don't I'm not going to hate on that music because I don't listen to it. It's not my thing, but I will fight somebody over the fact that it won't be remembered. It's people like it now, but they're not going to like it later. And they're going to all be scratching their head. Why did I like this music?
Yeah, and it seems like it's just getting worse. It seems like even now, the only stuff that people are remembering is stuff that was recorded 10 years ago.
Right. And
Like,
then music and people are weird now. Like look like me for instance. I'm a huge metalhead. Love metal more than anything. But I still listen to old school rap. And
yeah,
I did a grandpa's playlist on Purple Rain, an album that I think is god tier. And that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, everybody's a gatekeeper, or like I you won't. I bet you half the metalheads that we have today would be like, "You're just an old fogey. How can you like Prince and call yourself a metalhead?" That's how people are today.
yeah, you're a poser. We used to do that shit too, but we always knew when things were good and they were to be respected. Yeah, and it seems like everybody thinks in absolutes these days. Like you can only be this or you can only be that. You can't, you can't have a little bit of both. You can't bust out some NWA and then turn around and listen to Guar the next day. It just, people are weird like that. And there's no good, all the new metal, I don't like any of it, except if it's bands like Ghost that have already been around for 20 years. And
Yeah.
they're still the new kids on the block. Like the metal that I like, the best metal releases I've heard in a decade were all from bands that are 40 years old, like the New Corner and the New Creator and the New Testament. All unbelievable albums, but they're nothing new.
Right. And look at us. I mean, look, this is what I'm saying about being a music fan. Look at us. We love Danzig.
Yeah.
But Black Acid Devil, I wipe my ass with that shit.
Oh my God. It's so much worse than I remembered.
But
No,
kids and adults now, young adults nowadays, if their favorite band made an album they didn't like, they would just throw their hands up with the whole damn thing and give them all up. Like, why? Just
yeah.
one bad album. I still listen to Metallica and Saint Anger sucked. Hell, Lulu sucked. So it's like,
Oh, Lulu was terrible, but I still
don't
came back to him. Yeah.
right,
I still, St. Anger sucked, but when Death Magnetic dropped, I got it the first day.
right.
I was at the midnight release for Death Magnetic because I still
What?
believe in the bands.
But what did I put on the other day for my wife? Oh shit! I put on a there. Some band got back together and did a show. Metal band. Who the fuck were they? I wish I could remember now who it was. I showed her on YouTube. Uh,
Was it Sanctuary?
no, it was. Oh, let me see if it shows up in my history because I showed it to her, and I don't want to spoil what I told her. So let me see if I can find it here in my history. Because let's see, it was a band. Let me see if I can find it.
Do you remember Law's Rocket?
Yep.
They need to get back together and do another show. I can
Oh yeah.
tell if I got a hair sticking out or there we go. All right.
I better find this because it goes with what I have to say, and it was a good. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody that's just recently. They haven't done anything in a while, and then they're doing something, and they're all old. They're all like in their fucking 60s and shit. I wish I knew who it was. I could remember. So I'm not.
I think I know what you're talking about because they just did like they got back together, yeah, and it's kind of not a big band, like it was kind of an obscure band, right?
Right, but they're really fucking good. Still to this day. I can't remember who they were, but we were watching it and my wife was like, this sounds really fucking good. I said, yeah, they're putting fucking Motley Crue to shame. Like I still like my old Motley Crue albums, but when I look back now,
Yeah,
either either they were never playing to begin with, or they just lost their touch like bad.
I
Because
think they lost their touch. I think there was a lot of studio magic involved. And Motley Crue, you know, they were kind of the heavy metal boy bands of our day, I guess. Because a lot of them, it was their music and their image and their attitude. Just that the strength of their music, it was always good, but the Motley Crue records aren't super awesome, you know, as a whole.
After Dr. Feelgood for me is when it started to.
Oh yeah, I was done after that. Even though I love Karabi Crew, but that's a different story. That's a different animal. That should have never been a Motley Crue record. If it wasn't a Motley Crue record under a different name, I bet you those fuckers would still be making music today.
Karabi just dropped a new song, and
Really?
everybody's saying this. Everybody's saying the same thing. They should have brought him back instead of Vince.
Right. Yeah.
Karabi sounds just as good. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Vince. I don't know. I mean, I understand people lose their voice, but they usually lose their voice because they either sing too much or they're smokers or stuff like that. But it's like, how did he sound so awful? And it can't be because he's fat. Because Meatloaf sounded like a fucking angel. So I don't know
Yeah,
how.
Meatloaf had it. So yeah, so and then Pavarotti, you know, he was fat
Yeah.
too.
So I don't know what happened to Vince Neil. Does he just not give a shit or what? What
I
did he
think,
do?
you know, and I think he started falling out after his daughter died. You know, when he first got fired from Motley and then his daughter died, I just don't think I don't think he cares much anymore. You know, and I still think think he's still a raging alcoholic too. You know,
And
I've heard
then
a lot of stories about Vince that
and then
haven't
you
been
got
too flattering.
and then you got Nikki Sixx turning into the next Gene Simmons over there.
Yeah, yeah. And man, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. I've seen Molly a bunch of times, and I hate to admit, a couple of the best concerts I ever saw were Motley Crue, and two of the worst concerts I ever saw were Motley Crue. In fact, I think Motley Crue might actually go down as the worst big band I saw.
I've
They
seen
had
them
all the
three.
bells and whistles, flames and screens with crazy shit going on and stage props and everything. And it could not make up for how bad Vince was.
I've seen them
Like,
3 times. I saw
God.
them I saw them at Shout of the Devil.
Okay.
I I saw them for Girls, Girls, Girls.
No,
When
I didn't.
When Tommy did his first
Yeah,
drum stunt in the cage,
yeah.
and then I saw him for Dr. Feelgood when his drums came out over the audience.
Yeah, dude, that was one of the best shows I ever saw. Was definitely one of the most fun. You know, I've seen a lot of shows in my days. Some of them were kind of lame, some of them were awesome. Motley Crue was probably the most fun I've had at a show. I saw him on Dr. Feelgood, the new Tattoo Tour, Saints of Los Angeles, and then the Farewell Tour.
Okay.
Yeah, it's they opened for Aerosmith one time that I saw them, and it was at Alpine Valley. And Aerosmith destroyed them. Like, I have never seen a beatdown from a band more intense in my life than how much Aerosmith mopped the floor with Motley Crue. It was an ugly affair to say the least.
You know
Like,
who still? What were you
go
gonna
ahead.
say? No,
I
go
was
ahead. Finish.
gonna say, Vince was singing like maybe every third word. Like,
Uh,
it wasn't even every other word. It was just, and most of the time it was just incoherent nonsense what he was saying. And Aerosmith came out and it was so precise and so tight and so amazing that it made Motley Crue look like a train wreck. It was a brutal beatdown. A
I mean,
brutal.
I've been impressed. Last year, Extreme did a new album. It sounded awesome.
Oh, I
Last
love
year,
Extreme. Yeah.
last year, Winger did a new album and it sounded awesome.
Haven't heard that one yet, but I got to go on a limb. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Winger turned out to me to be, like the better band, and like out of all the hair metal bands that have come out, I'm listening to Winger more these days than anything else. And back in the day, I was like, oh man, Winger's retarded, it's Winger's for chumps. And now I revisit those albums and I'm thinking, man, they were good musicians. All of them were good musicians.
And this
Oh,
year starting off decent because I think the new single that was released by Def Leppard is fucking awesome.
yeah, I've heard, I haven't heard it, but I've heard good things. So,
And then Dangerous Toys released a new album. I
oh,
love
well,
this song.
that's good.
Yep, they
Yeah,
got a new single.
they released like a greatest hits kind of thing not too long ago. I heard something. Maybe it was called Dangerous Demos or something to that effect.
I don't know. They were this album that came out today or came out this month is called Demolition.
Demolition. Yeah. So it is a new one. Okay.
Yeah, it's got the
Yeah.
clown on the cover using a mallet to destroy a cassette tape. Um,
Yeah.
there's a song on there called Your Sister. Fucking awesome song. It's a good album. They came out with back in 2010. They came out with an album called their 20th year anniversary concert celebration.
Right.
And then they had a compilation called Vitamins and Crash Helmets in 2008. And they've done compilations. Their last album that was new was called I don't know what it's called because I think it's called the Rapists, formerly known as Dangerous Toys. That came out in '95.
Wow. Yeah, that's a long time ago. But yeah, I've been seeing Demolition pop up quite a bit,
It's a
and
good
I
album.
thought it was just a compilation of demos. And but
No, no,
if
no.
it's new material, I'm probably going to get it for sure. So
Yeah, it's
because
new
I love Dangerous Toys.
and
Man,
they
this year
came out
we're getting a new Sabotage record this year.
nice.
So I am super excited about that. It's a live album, but it's a three album live concert from the Gutter Ballet tour. So it's got the original guitar player and the original singer, and I guess from what people have been saying, it's an insanely good show, and I am super stoked about that. But that's really all I can think of that I'm excited music wise.
Well, no, it says Demolition is a compilation album, but I don't know what of because you can't highlight it anywhere. So I don't know if it's unreleased stuff
Yeah, or like
or
greatest hits or something. So it's what I thought it was, but I haven't heard much about it. I'm still gonna buy it though.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's 10 unreleased tracks that were
Okay, so
recorded.
yeah.
They were recorded during the band's hiatus between their second and third albums, Hellacious Acres and Pissed. So it's not new, but it is new. They recorded it a long time ago, but we've never heard it. So it's still
Right, yeah.
to
Hellacious
us it's still
Acres
good.
was such a good album. I remember that album. I got it the day it came out. Many,
So
many moons ago.
but I mean I don't know if they so I have to take back what I said. I don't know if they still have it because it's older music, but now I know Faster Pussycat came out with a new album towards the end of the year last year, and it sucked balls, total
Yeah, from what
balls.
I've heard, I wasn't too interested. Faster Pussycat is kind of weird. Like after, after they fell out, Tammy Down kind of wanted to do the whole Nine Inch Nails thing, and he turned goth, and it was a weird thing, a weird scene, and I don't think he's ever really got back to his roots yet.
what is everybody's fascination with that shit? Fucking, you know, Black Acid Devil. It's like, okay, I get it. There's no, you don't want to. I get it. You want to try something new, but
You, you
that
want it to be
industrial,
all about you, and yeah.
that industrial sound is like, it's like, I don't hate
It
it.
got old really fast. Around at the time, it was cool and the new thing that everybody was doing, but I missed all the real bands, because I think his Tammy Down's goth band or industrial band was, I think they were called the Newly Deads or something to that effect. And it,
See,
it just wasn't, it was like people trying to be something that they weren't, you know?
like I like Nine Inch Nails. I still like them to this day.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't like Tool. You know
Yeah,
what I
I'm,
mean?
I'm right there with you. I get a lot of shit for that. I get a lot of shit for saying, like, I don't like Tool. I just don't like them. I love their first album, Opiate, and I like Undertow. It wasn't bad, but after that, I can't listen to a full Tool album. And people are going to hate me for saying that, and I'm sorry, but it's just true. I mean, to me, they are boring as fuck.
Well,
Like,
when people bring up Tool because it was played out so much, the first thing my brain does when it hears the word Tool, my brain says, Jesus blows his fucking whistle. That's the first thing that fucking pops into my head.
fucking without. See, now those songs were good. I mean, that's Undertow and whatever, what other Anna, whatever that album was called, Enema Monimia Monomania Monia or whatever the fuck it was. But anything after those albums, I can't. I can barely like. Maybe it'll have a highlight, a decent song. And I got some friends that get really angry at me for saying that. Like you need to listen to them with headphones and give them another chance and maybe smoke some more pot or whatever. And no, I don't like it. I don't like any of them, man.
You could give me a bag of cocaine, I'm still not gonna like Tool.
Well, if that was a prerequisite for getting the cocaine, I'm going to give you this bag of cocaine if you listen to a Tool album. I'm probably going to listen to the Tool album, but I'm not going to like it. So that's yeah, I'm right there with you.
Fucking the hottest chick in the world could say, if you listen to this Tool album, I'll let you hit this. I'm not fucking masturbate. I'm not gonna listen to Tool.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna. It's
I
gonna
just
be hard. Yeah, it's my dick won't work after hearing Tool anyway. So
there's just something about Tool I don't like. But the industrial sound, to me, I don't like it, but I do like Nine Inch Nails. I don't know. There's something about I don't know. There's something about Trent Reznor that I like. Like
yeah, I mean, I
every
love Nine Inch Nails, but I think they fell out too. Like I don't think they've really put out a great album since with Teeth, and they've had. I mean, I just found out recently that they've had 5 or 6 albums since there was with Teeth, and then Year One or something like that, Year Zero, which was the concept album. And those albums were 20 years ago, and he's put out 5 or 6 albums since then. And I've tried to stream them, but it just doesn't grab me anymore.
I don't know though that Tron Ares soundtrack is good.
That's an exception. That kind of got me back. In fact, that's what got me into digging into the stuff that I missed in his catalog. Let's discuss Tron Ares for a minute. Have you seen it yet?
Not yet. Still not yet. Just listen to the soundtrack. I have a problem with. I have a love hate relationship with Jared Leto.
Well, I think everybody does. But I got to get my 2 cents on it. And I just discussed this the other day, I think on Backwoods, that no, we were discussing if Jared Leto is going to make a good Skeletor. And I said, man, I don't really like Jared Leto that much at all, but I thought he was really good in Tron Ares. Like, Tron Ares is a movie that I really think it's unfortunate what happened to it. It got destroyed by the critics. It was a flop. Word got out that it sucked and nobody was going, and it was a bust. And then I watched it on Disney Plus, and I was thinking, okay, this is way better than I expected. I went in with really low expectations and especially expected to hate Jared Leto. And I was pleasantly surprised and can honestly say Leto didn't bug me. He
Like
still does the whole pretty boy stuff thing, but Jesus,
I,
my foot hurts, man.
I liked I like his band. Well, I don't know if how they are now. I like 90s and but I do like 30 Seconds to Mars. I loved him when he played in that John Lennon movie, Chapter.
Chapter 23, I think, or
Yeah, where he gained all that weight to play that dude. That fucking
yeah.
movie was awesome. I even loved him in Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, I thought
Um,
he did pretty good. And I thought in Blade Runner 2049, I thought that was pretty I thought he did pretty decent in that movie too. Uh,
I didn't like him in that movie. What was the one that had fucking Pretty Boy in it? Where it was like the Roman times. I can't remember the name of that movie.
and he
Uh,
played the pretty guy.
he played the
Was it
secret lover to what's his face,
was it Troy or was it Alexander?
Alexander, because
Yeah,
he played Alexander's lover.
yeah, where they tried to pass off Colin Farrell as Greek.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
I didn't
wasn't
like
good.
that one. I
Yeah,
didn't like
fuck off, Ridley Scott. We're not buying this
yeah,
shit.
and I didn't like him in that movie
No, wait.
with
Was Alexander, was that Ridley Scott or was that Oliver Stone?
Oliver Stone. I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, Ridley Scott did Gladiator and all that
yeah,
stuff.
and I didn't like him in that movie where the he was the brother of of Nick, what's his name? Nicholas Cage played a gun it was a decent movie, but I didn't like the character that Jared played. He played his brother. Uh but Nicholas Cage played an international gun runner,
Was it
and
like Dogs of War? Was that it?
I think that was the one. I didn't like Leto in that one either. So that's what I'm saying. I have a love hate relationship with him.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
well,
I,
and we can all agree on the Joker, right?
his Joker sucked my left nut. It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's what really, I despised his Joker so much. I could barely watch him in anything else for years after that. It's,
But the Skeletor problem for me is I grew up with the Skeletor on TV. Yeah.
yeah, and
So
see, I wonder if he's going to do that kind of voice. Like, I hope Skeletor doesn't have the total Jared Leto soft voice, and you
right.
start to be like, well, if Skeletor wasn't deformed and had a skull face, that he would have been something else. And no, I
It's
don't
like
want to feel sorry for Skeletor in any way, shape, or form.
it's like a bunch of these dumbasses on the internet are like, well, I don't care. Jared Leto's in the mask. Frank Langella's is going to be better. Say, look, Frank Langella did a great job as Skeletor, but his Skeletor was terrible because he was properly speaking. Skeletor didn't look like Skeletor. He was wearing robes like he was a wrestler. It was like it wasn't for me. It was so. I mean, it was the only Masters of the Universe I had, or I still have at this point. I
Right. And
really,
I didn't think Dolph Lundgren was a very good He-Man either. So,
This new one is my only chance of getting that childhood dream to come true.
and I
And
hope they pull it off
because
because
Skeletor
we
looks,
both saw the trailer.
yep,
It took me back.
because Skeletor looks awesome, but if he doesn't sound like Skeletor, it's gonna ruin it.
Yeah, he's got to have that. Nah, tell me meet again, He-Man.
Yeah,
It's
and
got to be that kind of deal. So,
so we'll have to see. I'm gonna give it a shot because it's all I got. You know, you know.
dude, and I've heard weird rumors that Christian Wig is who they got to voice Roboto. And
Oh,
I don't know if I'm going to care too much because Roboto was only in one cartoon. He was only in one cartoon. He was a cool ass toy, but I don't think it really matter if he was a male or female.
I mean, you've gotta have somebody. Bad guy is gonna die. So if you're gonna have bad guys that are gonna die, give us some of the toys that we saw, but you didn't really see on TV. You know,
Yeah, like Spike Orr's probably going to die. Spike Orr, he was around for a little bit, but he wasn't super noticeable. They can't kill Trapjaw. He's the best one.
can't kill Beast Man.
Yeah, Beastman he's the OG. I wonder if we're gonna have Manny faces on there. Oh my god, sorry I'm complaining, but man, my foot hurts. Might have to I might have to go lay down here in a bit, Grandpa.
Well, I do want to show off my new movie set that came today. Every
Well,
time
yeah,
I
let's
do an
see it, man. Let's see it.
every time I do an episode, if I get something, I always hold off to it. I got this today, the Ninja Trilogy.
Now, is that the American Ninja Trilogy or what is that?
No, this is Enter the Ninja,
Okay.
Revenge of the Ninja, and that famous wackadoo Ninja 3, The Domination.
Okay, that is the ninja movies I thought. It's not the American Ninja, but I know exactly
No,
what you're talking about. I want to
Ni-
see three. I
it's
know it sounds crazy, but three is so wackadoo, like you said. I want to revisit it.
had Lucinda Dickey. She was in Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Right, right. And doesn't the spirit of a ninja come out of a video game or something?
She gets when she's on the power lines. I do, if I recall, she was working on the phones, and
Right,
it got into her through the phone lines.
right. And then she was overtaken by the spirit of the ninja. And
Yeah,
either way, it was a friggin' weird ass movie, dude.
yeah. Which is weird. She was possessed by a ninja, but she was using her power. He was using the body to seduce men. It's like if I took over somebody's body, I'm going to seduce women because I'm a man. But yet here's this old school ninja trying to get it on with dudes. It was just so weird. It's a good movie though. It's a
But
really
yeah, it's
good
good,
movie.
but it's good in a weird way.
It's that cheese. It's got that cheese factor.
Totally cheese factor, man.
Because the first one has Franco Nero in it. You know who he is.
I
He's that
believe so. I can see his
yeah,
face.
yeah. And then it's got Sho Kosugi. Sho Kosugi's in both the first and the second one. But yeah, but they're canon films, so that should tell you something.
Well, yeah, Canon, you know what you're getting with Canon films, man.
Yeah.
Now, dude, why I keep thinking of this and I keep bringing him up, and I don't know why, man. What was Michael Dudikoff in?
He was an American Ninja.
All right, that's what. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, the past week or so, I've had a bunch of conversations, and Michael Dudikoff pops up in the conversation.
Yeah,
You know,
he did American Ninja, and then after that he did so many cheesy action movies back in the day.
now who did Jim Cotta? Do you remember that?
that film, Jim Cotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that film. That
God,
was a
Jim,
classic.
it's a classic, but man, was it cheese dick? It's fucking, so you got any news or anything you want to discuss, G Paw, before we call it a night?
Yeah, that one. Uh, no, I don't think so. I've got this weekend. I'm going out on a limb. Probably going to be a very low. Uh, Not a lot of people are going to tune in live, probably, and definitely probably aren't going to listen on demand because this is the true definition of a cult band, and you know it, and I know it, and the world knows it. So I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of listeners. But this Saturday on Grandpa's playlist, I'm doing the debut album from Mr. Bungle.
Oh, you know me, how much I love Mr. Bungle. So I'm going to tune in and give
So
it a listen because I want to hear the information about it. You know,
so
like
uh,
I might be stuff I know. It's more people. If anybody's watching and listening out there, Mr. Bungle, this is the Grandpa's playlist. You should definitely listen to because it's a fantastic album.
so I got Mr. Bungle on Saturday, and then that's it. The next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, 6 Pacific, Getting Live with Ace. Hopefully he's live. I know he's been filming Death Bitch 2. So
Right? Yeah,
with
we just started filming that. So
Yeah, so I don't. Some nights he's gonna probably take off and do his filming. He was new last week. I got it up on demand, so hopefully he's new this week. But if he's not, there's always an episode of Ken Tuesday nights at 8 Central,
and I
6
gotta get
Pacific.
back into recording, man. I got
Well,
to do
shit.
my live show. I know I've been slacking and I had the equipment problems and I haven't tried to download the new thing yet. And then my foot hurting and all this crap.
Yeah,
But I,
hopefully you get back to it because right now there's not much going on the network. Just Saturdays, and I haven't been doing the show on Wednesdays, so it's just been me and Ken. So yeah, I'd like to get you back on
yeah,
there.
get me going again, get stuff hanging. You know, maybe Mike J got a show he can put on there or something. I don't know.
And hopefully he gets that funding for his movie. He's working on it because
Yeah, he's working on that pretty hard. It's kind of taking up his life and everything. So,
yeah, he wants to start filming in June
right,
because
hopefully.
he's got to give dates to Joe Bob, you know. But Joe Bob is just going to be one day. He just wants to because he's expensive. So I think he's gonna have Joe Bob be just one day of filming.
Yeah, just
So
come in and do his lines real quick and get him out there. And
yeah, I saw the prospectus that he set up for investors. For my character, I'm going to be there for 6 days. I guess I'm going to have six days of shooting. So yeah, he's working on that. Hopefully the movie because he wants to start filming it in June, and that's not too far off.
right.
So
It's going
I'll
to
have to
come
go
up
to
a lot quicker than he thinks, man.
I know, and I gotta make plans to drive out there and all that stuff. So hopefully he gets this funding taken care because he doesn't want to do crowdfunding. So
Right. And
if
you still got to go visit your dad and shit too, man.
yep, but if you are interested in supporting a film that I know you can support right now, you can go to lividmedia.org. Lividmedia.org. Go to the store section, and the last 2 pages. You can be a supporter for Death Bitch 2. Give a little money, you get a movie in return. There's some other perks and stuff they got in there too, like movie packs and whatnot. So make sure you go to lividmedia.org and check that out. Also, don't forget to check out Rabbit and Red's website. And I don't remember the site off the top of my head, but you can find links to Rabbit and Red on grandpathenerd.com. So head over to grandpathenerd.com. That's where you can check out GTN. You can also, or GTN Radio, you can also listen to the on demand shows on there. And you can also find links to Rabbit and Red's website, which will also get you to a link to Rabbit and Red TV. So make sure you check
Right.
out all the stuff that Rabbit and Red has to offer by going to grandfather.nerd.com and following the links. So other than that, that's it. I don't got nothing else. I don't got nothing else. So
No, I think I just want to plug that I think Me and Mike J might do the show. I don't know if I'm going to do this camera thing like this again, so I'm going to have to try to get back to my rig and all that. And I don't think we got a backwoods for a couple weeks, but I think we're doing the next backwoods is going to be on conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So it's going
Okay.
to be an unusual with all this Epstein stuff. We gotta, and then some days, well, this is pretty much neighbors talking shit, but we don't have our lists.
Right.
We still got to do the elusive James Bond episode. But I'll definitely be on my rig for that one. I won't have it be like this where you get this shaky cam thumb head version of me over here.
Yeah, we'll definitely do the James Bond one. We just gotta get it all. But all
Yeah,
right.
because that's crazy, man. I went and I watched a shit ton of James Bond movies to prepare for that. I was taking notes and everything, and it just didn't materialize. But things happen. It's
Yep.
it'll be here in the future. So
Right. Well, before
oh,
we go, before we go, I'm gonna do the typical man thing because I'm a typical man, and give you one last look at Vanna
look at
White's
that,
ass.
man. Look
Yep.
at that. Just that little peak of her butt.
Yep.
Just I want to sniff it. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I know I'm a weird looking thumbhead guy, but I'm a guy nonetheless. I want to sniff
Yep.
her butt, dude. So
All
bye
right. Well,
y'all. Yeah.
with that being said, I'm gonna roll this thing, and we'll be out of here. So I guess I'll see you next time. And
Yeah.
don't forget to check out Murray when he comes back for his concert series. Check him out on Backwoods Horror over on Rumble, and he's on Rabbit and Red with Michael J. So don't forget to check out Murray's stuff online too. So
Oh,
make sure you check that
you
out.
guys take care. Thanks for sticking with us during my amateur hour here. I'm sorry about it.
Yep. All right.
Take
We'll
care.
see you guys.
All right. Peace.